Okay, Common Core Geo kids. This is Unit 6, Lesson 2, the 30, 60, 90 right triangle. Okay, first let me develop where it comes from. It comes from the equilateral triangle. So, I start by drawing an equilateral triangle. All the sides are equal, right? Let's say each side is 8. Now, I'm going to draw an altitude to the base. Okay, so in an equilateral triangle, an altitude, doesn't matter which altitude you draw, will bisect the base. Okay, and you could prove this. I'm not going to prove it right now, but you could prove it because, all right, you already know, for instance, that these angles are equal, right? And then an altitude gives you right angles. These sides are congruent. So by angle, angle, side, you could prove the triangles are congruent. And since the triangles are congruent, these must each be the same, which would stand to reason that they're each half of 8, which is 4 and 4. Okay, now, this angle is 60. This angle is 90, obviously, because it's a right angle. That leaves this to be 30. So now I'm going to take this half of the triangle out of the picture. So I have 60, I have 30. I have 8, I have 4. Okay, number 1. The side across from 30 is half of the side across from 90, okay? So the side across from 30 degrees is half the measure of the side across from 90. Okay, and vice versa, the side across from 90 degrees is twice the measure as the side across from 30 degrees. Okay, so what about the side across from 60? Let's use the Pythagorean theorem and find out. So we have x squared plus 4 squared is 8 squared. 1664, x squared, subtract 48, and then get the square root. Okay, you can use your calculator or make it 16 and 3, and it's 4 rad 3. Okay, so the side across from 60 is equal to the side across from 30 times rad 3. Across from 60 degrees is equal to the side across from 30 degrees times rad 3. Okay, you need to be able to do other things with these as well. Okay, but the basic rule, what you're going to copy down, we're going to call the side across from 30, well, we can just call that x, okay? So if the side across from 30 is x, the side across from 90 is 2x, and the side across from 60 is x rad 3. Okay, write that rule down. Okay, now you would be expected to work in other directions. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Now, they're not going to be so nice to necessarily make the picture look to your liking. They're also not necessarily going to be so nice as to tell you 30 and 60. Maybe they'll just give you 30. Okay, so start off easy. Let's say this is 5, and I call this x and this y. So x would be 5 rad 3, because it's across from 60. You could put the 60 in the picture now if you want. And y would be 2 times 5, or 10. Okay, that's the simplest problem. Okay, some of them will get a lot more difficult. Okay, so let's say we start with the side across from 90. Let's say that's 22, okay? And then we want to find x and y. So to get the side across from 30, we would do 22 divided by 2. To get the side across from 60, we would take the side across from 30 and multiply by rad 3. Okay, so if you didn't get the side across from 30 first, you might end up being confused. All right, let me just make that 11. Clean it up. Okay, example 3. Let's say we start with the side across from 60. So let's say that side is 10 rad 3. And then we call this x and y. Okay, so the side across from 30 is just going to be 10. You get rid of the rad 3. Okay, technically it's 10 rad 3 divided by rad 3. But it's just 10. And then y is 20 because you doubled the side across from 30. So the 30 and the 90 have an easy relationship. It's the 60 that's going to throw us off here. More examples. Okay, let's say the side across from 60 is 18. This is going to be a lot uglier. So the side across from 30 is going to be 18 divided by rad 3. Look at what you have to do. You have to rationalize by multiplying by rad 3 over rad 3. So that becomes 18 rad 3 over 3, which is 6 rad 3. Then the side across from 90 would just be double that. So how do you double 6 rad 3? You just multiply the 2 by the 6. So it's 12 rad 3. So it's going to be a lot of work with radicals, and I'm not sure what your strengths or your weaknesses are with operations with radicals. Okay, that is an Algebra 1 topic. Okay, let's look at one more question here. Okay, so let's say the side across from 60 is 3 rad 3. To get the side across from, the side across from 30 is 3 rad 3. I think I said 60. To get the side across from 60, we would do 3 rad 3 times rad 3, which would be 3 times 3, which would be 9. Okay, now to get the hypotenuse, you would take the side across from 30 and multiply it by 2, which would be 6 rad 3. Okay, so be prepared for some of these questions to be a little stressful, and there's going to be a lot of radicals involved, okay? But in summary, remember, if you have the side across from 90, divide by 2 to get the side across from 30, and then multiply by rad 3 to get the side across from 60. If you have the side across from 30, multiply it by rad 3 to get the side across from 60. Double the side across from 30 to get the hypotenuse. If you have the side across from 60, you must divide by rad 3 to get the side across from 30. And then take the side across from 30 and double it. Okay, hope this helped. All right, thanks kids. See you in class.